Again. Hello, this is Venus Lifts here, and we are here at Venus Street 912. Before it was renamed as Venus Street 912, it is named as some game right here, but I don't remember exactly what game is it. What game name? Maybe it's some street building, but it's named as building. So, let the Venus lift tours begin. And now we are going to ride the first lift. And by the way, this game is made in 2021 or maybe 2020. I don't know what exact year. I will see about that. I think 2021 maybe. So now we are going to ride the first lift, which is the tower lift. This lift right here is a polar lift that is been retrofitted to Cobalt. And as we can see, this place is old. However, stay tuned for that, as the revamped version is coming soon. However, stay tuned for that because sorry about that cough. But the revamped version is coming soon. So this is the original version made in 2021. Alright, let's go down to lower lobby of the tower. Here at lower lobby, and this light is bright, meaning that this game is unrealistic. It's not even realistic. Alright, so here it goes. And now there are two step lifts polar. This right here is a glass, this right here is a frosted glass, but the cab itself is not glass. First we are going to ride the small lift first. And thankfully I've already migrated the unions because since 2023 these unions since 2023 these unions were too big. Alright, let's go up to UL. And the indicator is right here. And again, this is another old lift, but stay tuned. But don't worry, there will be a new lift coming. Actually, there will be a revamp coming in this game, so stay tuned. All of the lifts here are not realistic. Here at upper lobby, and there is not much in the upper lobby. However, in the revamped version, I plan to add one more lift that goes just between upper lobby and the ground floor. And yes, these both lifts are doing a remodel, including the small lift. Alright, now let's ride the large lift. But it will not be remodeled to an EVSC lift. it will be remodeled to an American looking lift. Alright, here it is. And the other one is glass. Alright, let's go down to lower lobby. Let's watch the window. And there is a large hall, but yes, this is going to be this large hall is going to be removed and replaced with the dug lift shaft. The blast dug lift shaft. So as you can see, this basement atrium right here is going to be removed and replaced with a small hall for these lifts right here. And all of the lift shafts will now be a blast dug lift shaft, which has been dug using explosives. And now moving on to the next lift, which is the Luxiar lifts. Which is a UK generic looking. But for the revamped version, this will be an American lift. However, it will also have Dewhurst buttons. Looks like all of the lifts in the tower area will have innovation buttons. So we are going to ride the tower lifts. Also, the tower lifts will still have center opening 2-speed doors. Let's go up to observation deck. Let's watch the view. Here we go. And yeah, this new lift will have a glass ceiling. Actually no, it will not have glass ceiling. However, this lift will still be a cylindrical lift. And here we are at the observation deck. Oh, by the way, it will have a 2-speed center opening doors in the inside and center opening outside doors. And here it goes. Let's see what the view looks like. This is tall, by the way. And unfortunately, this glass right here is a bit opened. So please be careful. Please don't fall down. I don't want to fall down. Anyways, this right here is the very, very, very tall tower, which has got Luxiar lifts. And it will eventually this tall, very tall tower will soon be demolished to make way for a apartment building. The new game will no longer have this tall tower right here. Instead, it will have a apartment building which goes up until 30 stories. Until 30 stories. I think this will be the tallest point of this game in the revamped game. Also, the revamped game will be much more realistic than the original one. That right here is the car park, which will still be there. However, it will have a however, the big lift will not be right here. However, the big lift will be gone to make way for the car park ramps. Anyways, enough of this talk of the view, what's going to look like. Actually, it's not enough yet. So, there is one more thing I'm going to talk to you. This building right here will be also having a revamp. This building right here will have a new hotel tower, and this will still have the same lifts, but a different model. Because these lifts are made by Schindler with the Schindler NW America lift controller, which is a old controller and it's trash. So it will be, so yes, this will also be revamped. Anyways, now let's go down these main lifts. And no, I don't want the left one. Let's set this down. I want the same car. Lucky moment. Okay. Again, this is not the same car. I want the middle one. Yes, that's the one I want. Let's go down to lower lobby. Let's watch the view again. See, this is the tower right here, which is going to be converted into a hotel. There is no outer glasses. That right here is a small building. Now we are going underground. Again, this atrium will soon be removed and replaced with the small hall for the lifts. And this is going, and the lift shafts right here will be hand dug. Alright, now let's go up this lift right here. Let's go back up to ground. So eventually this game is going to be having a revamp, 2025 revamp. This is one of the known games in Venus Lifts. Before that it used to be some type of some game right here, which I made it in 2021 somewhere. Alright, let's watch the door close. Here it goes. And now let's move on to the tower right here, which is going to be a hotel tower in the revamped game, which has got Schindler lifts, but it is operated by Schindler NW America controller. And this is the lifts. That right here is the atrium. And now let's ride the lifts. Up to 20, 19, there we go. And it no longer announces when the game is open. Alright, let's watch the window. Here we go. And by the way, this lift controller is an old lift controller. Alright, here we are at the top, 19th floor. Alright. Now let's go down to 1. Car B. Here it is, that's car B. But this controller is laggy. Here we go. And yes, these lifts are going to be changed to a Schindler this is going to be changed to a high-rise Schindler 7000. Here it goes. However, the Schindler 7000s will no longer be destination dispatch. It will be an American Schindler 7000. And now moving on to this building right here, which has got Steph Lifts Polar, which has been again converted into Cobalt Plus. It's this lift right here, right? Let's go down to basement. Here we go. Again, this lift is old lift, however, excuse me. However, it will be converted into an American lift. Alright, let's go up to 9. Here at 9. Also, the basement is going to have a tunnel network. Alright, so here it goes. Let's see what the view looks like from the 9th floor. This is short, but this is less tall. But we can see these two buildings right here, which is not attached to anything. But this will be converted, these two buildings right here with all of these doors, this will be converted into a car park. That small building right here will have a Schindler 330A. Alright, now let's go down the same lift. Let's go down to ground. Here at ground. Right, let's watch the door close. Here it goes. Now moving on to this small building right here. Alright, this is the lift we are going to ride. When it will be in the revamped game, this will be replaced with the Schindler 330A. Let's go up to 3. The fan is on. You're at 3. Fast for 3 floors. Alright, let's go down to 1. You're at 1. Now let's get out of here and watch the door close. Here it goes. Now moving on to these lifts right here in these towers. One of the lifts is destination dispatch, while the other is not. These lifts will these both buildings right here will be converted into a car park. Will be merged when the car park is constructed. This will become a car park. Excuse me. Sorry about that. Alright, now let's go down to... let's go up to 9, 8. Alright, let's take this car. And this problem with the project lift is that it does not even have weld. Let's go down to lobby. These 2 buildings right here with 8 floors will be converged, will be integrated with the car park. These are just the lift areas. Alright, let's go down to... Let's close the door. You're at ground. Let's watch the door close. Alright, now let's go to the other part of the lift area. This right here is non-destination dispatch. Plus they don't run as a set, it runs individually. Let's go up to it. Here at 1. Right, let's watch the door close. Here it goes. Now we are going to move on to this next building right here, which is going to be another building which will be converted into a flats. Right, let's call it. Close. And now we are going to move on to this tall tower right here, which is the tallest point in this original game. These lifts right here are the luxury lifts, and this tall building right here will be removed and replaced with this tall apartment building. It will still be tall, but not too tall. Not the same height. Alright, let's call it. Let's go up to 3. Here we go. These lifts are so fast, wow. Let's go down to B1, which was supposed to be ground floor. And it just undershot. You're at the ground, which is supposed to be named as ground, not B1. Okay. So now we are going to move on to this lift right here. Yes, this is 0 or G should be at the ground floor. Alright, let's go up to 3. Unfortunately, it does not go tall. However, it does go tall, but it does not actually go tall. Unfortunately. Oh well, I should start from the top floor. Let's go down to ground. Right here at ground. Let's watch the door close. Here it goes. Alright, we should take the main lifts this time. Because this freight lift does this other lift does not serve the top floor. This time we are going to watch the doors. At 3. Let's watch the door close. Here it goes. Let's try taking down the service lift. So we will only do a down ride of this service lift, the full down ride from top to bottom. Here it comes. Here it is. By the way, this building right here, this tall tower right here, which is the topmost, which goes up to the topmost point of this game, will be taken down in the revamped version. Alright, let's go down to ground. Go. Just under shot, and we leveled. Let's watch the door close. Here it goes. Sorry about that cough. And now we are going to move on. We are going to move on to the last remaining part of this game, the parking garage. In this Oizel game, the parking garage. So we first have to take a car because it is too far away. Start the engines. door did not open. Oh, now it's opened. Let's start the engines of the car. Push the car out of the lift. And in this parking garage, unfortunately, there are no sides to park the car. So we are going to stop the car here. Also, this parking garage does not have a this facade. So the parking garage will remain the same. So it will remain the same, but it will have a new look. Alright, now let's take this lift down. Let's now go down to ground. Watch the door close. There will be some changes to the so here at ground. Let's go up to 5. Let's watch the door close. Alright. Actually, I should go down to 1. Let's watch the window again. The indicators do not work. Here we go. Video outside the parking garage by setting this lift up. Let's go outside so that we can watch it go up. Goes. And now we are going to end the video outside the parking garage. That's where the ramp is going to be. This lift will be still at the same position. However, for the revamped version, this lift will be hydraulic and it will still have a color coded doors. This right here is this building, which will be converted into this hotel. That building will be converted into a small hotel. This will still be the tower, but the underground parts will be changed. This small building right here will still remain the same, but it will be converted into a small apartments. This right here will be the lifts, but it will be integrated to each other in the revamped version and converted into a car park. That right here is the building which will be converted into a large apartments. And this right here will be this tall tower right here, which will be demolished, which will be removed in the revamped version. So, we would like to thank you guys for watching. Don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel and follow us at my Instagram. This is VenusLiftTOURS signing off.